What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Everyday Struggle. I'm Radeska here with Wayno, and Akademiks is back. We missed you. What have you been up to for the past few days?
I'm finally on punishment. I've been good. Taking some time for self-reflection.
You mean trolling?
I've been really having some time to self-reflect. Really realize that all the platforms I'm on and words really have a lot of significant meaning. And of course, battling with the three musketeers, the three cancellation kings. So,
have you learned some lessons, Akademiks?
Yeah. I've learned that Meat Mill is powerless. Freddie Gibbs is a great meat maker.
Here you start off
and we're
going
back.
in the wrong direction from the rip.
And I'm let's get it. Let's
just start. All right, let's just start.
But no. Seriously, on a serious note though, I do stand by everything I did say before, and that's why that particular situation I would not be even trolling about. But these other rappers who claim they canceled me, I got all the smoke for them.
Well, the show is definitely not the same without you, so we're definitely glad you're back. We have a lot of things to talk about that we missed while you were gone, while we were on that break. So let's start with some music. On July 3rd, we got the Pop Smoke posthumous album, Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon. 19 tracks, some really great features on here from people like Lil Baby, Quavo, Roddy Ricch, 50, and Lil TJ. This is a follow-up to Meet the Woo 2. So the project is doing really well numbers-wise, and Mike Dean says that if it goes platinum soon, we may get the deluxe version on July 20th, which will also be really dope. I saw you tweeting when the album dropped. It seemed like you really enjoyed it.
I personally enjoyed it. First of all, I hate when people say, because they did it with the Juice WRLD album, which we're going to talk about too. Like, hey, if you get it to this amount of streams, you're getting the deluxe. We're getting the deluxe anyway, right? But it's a good incentive. Pop Smoke's album was handled really well. I was a little bit worried when I heard 50 was involved because, sometimes 50 being, I'm not saying 50 does a Diddy, which means he all up in the songs, all in the video.
You thought he's going to put Tony Ayo on songs and Lloyd Banks?
I thought it would compromise that integrity and authenticity of Pop Smoke's. Like, he has that new breath of fresh air, and I thought 50 was like, well, he always looked up to me. Let me just make this shit like some G-Unit shit. No, and he didn't do that at all. He took himself out of it in a lot of situations, and I could tell he called in a lot of people and favors to make stuff happen. We saw the Instagram post, so he did a great job there. But listening to it, of course, after Pop died, we started, especially me. I think Wayno was definitely way ahead, further in understanding how talented he was. But me, I was still one of those people. I'm like, all right, he Brooklyn drill, you know what I mean? And I couldn't even really see at that point that he was transitioning out of that, and he was becoming a superstar. But listening to this album, I'm like, dang, this is, he should have been the next superstar from New York, by far. And seeing everyone appreciate his talent now, it's a little bit bittersweet, but the album to me was phenomenal.
So the album was a really great album, but it was a little bit tough to listen to. Reason why it's tough to listen to is because and all of Pop Smoke's music, and I mean, we love his music, but all of his music, he's talking about having it on him and throwing shots, and you know what I mean, like all these different street elements, and ultimately that's what took him off this earth. You know what I'm saying? So that was the only part where listening to it got kind of difficult for me, because it's like, damn, it's hard to really take this in, knowing that this young man passed, and he was saying the type of things he was saying. But aside from that, musically, I felt like it was very well delivered. I felt like even if he was still here, like if he would have had this same album or something close to it, it just shows you how far he would have been. Like, you know what I mean? Like he really was out of here. You know what I mean? Because like Ak said, he was transitioning out of just doing Brooklyn drill. He was doing different types of songs. Shit, we ain't heard 3 good songs with all Amigos on it. Him and Quavo, they every time they get together, they doing numbers. They're doing great shit together. So it's like I felt like he put Quavo in another bag. You know what I'm saying? Like he had him going a little left with it. So hopefully artists from New York could see that and get a little inspired and want to create new music and want to pick up where he left off. But again, it's still a little bit bittersweet, but great album overall.
And if you ever want to think about an artist who fits in a unique pocket and they own it, like Pop is the definition of that. There's a pocket that, and I think that's why he's so revered, even in just the style of music. I'm not gonna lie, the features are cool, but to be honest, Pop carries all these songs. Pops, like, and I mean, we always knew he had that presence. We knew it from when, remember when Jack Boys dropped? Remember I was saying that Travis got carried or watched on a couple songs? That song Gotti on Jack Boys, yo, that's Pop Smoke. That's a Pop.
It shouldn't even be on that album.
Exactly, like he has such a dominating presence that when you hear the feature, a lot of times you're like, oh man, like you're not giving us the same energy, the same tone, the same, like that gritty, that type of like feel that Pop is giving us. So he carried all the features to me, but we did have some good features. I thought Roddy Ricch did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they in the top 10 with him. Well, the drink with Baby and Little Baby, right?
Yeah. Can I also say my last thing? I think labels are getting better at crafting posthumous albums. Mm-hmm. This album, like again, we've seen the past, and I think Matt Miller's album was pretty good. Peep's album's decent. There's been hardcore fans of X, they're usually 50-50 with whatever, but when an artist passes and if the work is incomplete and you're trying to put it out, right, you have to kind of piece some stuff together. But I'm not gonna lie, like Pop Smoke's album feels like a finished record. And I don't know if he was finished completely, but just hearing 50 talk about it, he said he came in when they weren't thinking about music and weren't gonna put out music, and he said, nah, let me handle the executive producing part of it. Let me make those decisions, and I'll be the face of it. But I think labels are getting better at posthumous album when you think about that in Juice.
Yeah. I mean, it is bittersweet, like you guys said. Complex did a feature where they spoke with a few people involved and with Quavo, who obviously had a good relationship with him. I actually didn't realize how close they'd gotten. Quavo spoke a lot about sort of taking Pop Smoke under his wing and giving him advice, and he expressed some regret at not giving him more advice when it came to the housing situation, especially when he was traveling. But of course, that's not his fault. It was hard for all of us to live through that moment. And late last week, 5 people were finally arrested in connection with Pop Smoke's death. 2 of them officially being charged with murder, eligible for the death penalty. To make it even more horrible, police say they didn't even know him. These people who found his address online. Just horrible, a life taken way too soon. But like you guys said, I'm glad we at least have the music to live with.
I don't believe the last part. I don't believe maybe they didn't know him that well, but just through sources I've heard, they either knew of him or have been in his vicinity before. So, again, very sad, but I'm finally glad. Like I was really beginning to think this was gonna go down like like a Tupac or Biggie situation where like there's many rumors but no arrests, and I think it was a good thing, especially for his family on the week of his album release.
Yeah, like again, like with Pop dying, all these things happen. I'm just happy that his family gets closure with all of this. You know what I'm saying? It's like Ak was saying, Biggie, Tupac, it's a lot of stories, but we still don't know exactly what it is. I'm just happy his family gets closure.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Now, there was a little bit of controversy surrounding the album with the song that technically hasn't even come out yet. So there was an unreleased record called Paranoia, which you're apparently going to hear on the deluxe version of the project. It features Pusha T, Young Thug, and Gunna. And on it, Pusha takes some shots at Drake's, including, it sounds like a reference to when one of his shows in Toronto was rushed. The stage was rushed a few years ago. This really, really upset Young Thug. So he got on Instagram and said he doesn't respect the Pusha T verse on the song, because I don't have anything to do with your beef, nor does Gunna. He said, if I knew that was about him, referencing Drake, I would have made changes on our behalf, saying he's not really with the rapper shit. Pusha T surprisingly responded pretty quickly. He says, don't feel bad. Nobody knew what the verse was about. The label heads that stopped it didn't even know. They only assumed because he told them, the same way he told about the Ross Maybach 6 verse. So if you guys remember, I kind of forgot this had happened. Maybach Music 6 from Port of Miami 2. There was some controversy because Lil Wayne and Pusha T were both on the song. Eventually, Pusha's verse was cut, but of course it leaked anyway, and it sounded like there were some shots at Drake. Do you guys understand why Young Thug would be upset here?
Only reason why I think him and Drake have a relationship. Him and Drake they do have a relationship. Thug to me doesn't do like when he's doing records. I never heard him really like go at anybody. So I could see, well, not really see, because honestly, who gives a fuck? End of the day, you know what I mean? Like, who gives a fuck? People always have dissed other people on other people's records. If you look back to like Ludacris on Stomp, and that's when him and Ti was going back and forth at it, and it was on Young Buck's record. You know what I mean? If you look at even in Jay's career, he rapped on I'm That Nigga on Meek I was about to say Meek on Memphis Bleek's album, you know, the diss Mino, a rapper from Harlem. So it's like, as long as there's no clarity as this shit is totally finished, there's always going to be little shots thrown here or there. But I didn't understand, like, you know, why Thug cared too much about it other than him having a relationship with Drake.
Honestly, like, it was weird to see Thug come out and say that. If I'm listening to what Pusha said, the verse was going to be stopped anyway. So why did Thug have to come out and say that? I feel Thug did that to savor his relationship with Drake. They're I'm not saying they're the coolest, but they're very cordial. They do music together from time to time. And I could see why, you know, especially when Gunna's had records with Drake and of course Thug as well. I could see why he's like, yo, let me just make it very clear that I had no part in setting up this song, right? So maybe it's just to like savor that relationship. The second thing, which by the way, I think that's BS. Like, bro, you can't help, like, him calling out, like, he said to Pusha, he said, yo, only a sucker goes on second takes, third takes, fourth takes. Well, Drake been dissing Pusha ever since the beef.
Right, exactly.
Like, Drake my favorite rapper, but I love when he diss niggas. I love when he do it subliminally that you don't even know. And by the way, that as much as we acknowledge that Pusha was dissing Drake, it's a pretty subliminal diss as well. So you're telling me that Drake could diss people and we love it? Like, I'm a fan. I don't like be a hypocrite. Right. I love when Drake do it. But when Pusha do it, it's a problem. I'll be a hypocrite if I said it was, right? Yeah. But I guess, so I look at Thug that way and I say, Thug, I get it. You're just trying to savor that relationship. But the other side of it, which is it's Pop Smoke project, is there supposed to be some sanctity? Even though, by the way, Pop Smoke ain't rapping about, like, you know what I mean, like dandelions and like flowers. You know what I mean? He's rapping about some really real shit, right? But Thug also made a point. Why put this on Pop Smoke's Posthumous project? If you want to diss him, go do it on your own shit. I get that as well, you know, but I don't know about what sanctity that we should be thinking about Pop Smoke's project with in terms of the content.
Well, do we know if this record was done after Pop was died, as far as Pusha's verse? Because you know Pusha is Steven Victor's, you know, artist. He works with Steven Victor, and Pop.
And he said he requested to have Young Thug on the song, apparently.
Right. So it's like, you know, I mean, it could have been done when he was still here. You know what I mean? And the thing about it is, like, the Drake and Pusha shit, all right, it's 2 years ago, but I don't mind, like, I don't mind hearing Drake throw shots. I don't mind hearing Pusha throw shots. It's all music. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you people, we want that. You know what I'm saying? As long as it stays right there, that's what we want. We want to see niggas compete lyrically. But again, like, I think it just got threw into a whirlwind because it's on Pop's album. Now, I don't even think Pusha needed to put it on somebody else's shit. Why couldn't he put it on Pop shit?
Well, I really just can't understand why, like, you know, again, Drake's my guy, but I can't give him the pass. Like, I can't give him the pass where he could do some and by the way, let me be very clear and be on the record with it, because I said the same about Nicki. I keep saying that to everybody. Right. If Drake was making phone calls, calling exactly like, yo, Pusha's dissing me, bro. Like, yo, please, like, yo, take that. That's foul. That's foul. That's some Nicki shit. That's some, yo, I'm a bigger artist. Let me try to get you out to get. No. Out rap him. Or shit, you're Drake. Make the bigger hit, which you have been. But the phone conversation where you're blocking calls, you're trying to blackball people. I've never ever been, you know, fond of that. So I look at that and I look at that as weird. Also, think about it. Should like Drake been dissing Kanye even more than Pusha, right? Drake got on Travis Scott's song Sicko Mode. Travis Scott is basically the
baby of
brother-in-law, right? Of Kanye.
Right.
Why nobody ain't come out then and be like, yo, bro, why you dissing Pusha?
Why you dissing Kanye?
You know, why you dissing Kanye on his brother-in-law project? You know, again, we just got to keep the same energy. We all dance and laugh to like Sicko Mode. Yo, Pusha's gonna take his shots when he takes them. Let him rock. And if Drake want to respond, Drake will respond. That's how it is. It's hip hop.
Well,
Okay.
he does have some music
Didn't
coming
expect
out
that
this
take.
week. Maybe he will respond. We'll find out soon. So we also got the Juice WRLD posthumous album, like you guys mentioned, Legends Never Die. 21 songs, features from Trippie Redd, Polo G, Halsey, Marshmello, and more. A follow-up to his 2019 album, Death Race for Love. How'd you guys feel about this one?
This was harder, way harder. I mean, incredibly hard to listen to. It's like, it reminds me of when X dropped Question Mark. That was hard to listen to in the wake of his death. Mm-hmm. This new Juice WRLD project, Legends Never Die, which I do enjoy, but it's hard for me to really enjoy these songs because of the nature of how he died. Now, let's do a real quick recap. Juice WRLD came to prominence because of Goodbye and Good Riddance. Very popular. They called it a mixtape, but it's really an album. It's about heartbreak. He was heartbroken over, relationships, stuff like that. As he got famous, and he, of course, did a collab album with Future, The World on Drugs, you got to realize that somewhere in between the focus of the content of what he was putting out was substance abuse. And you hear him say even on the intro, hey, I know people want me to be sad and always be singing about like relationships, but I'm happy in a relationship. What I am going through, substance abuse, anxiety, and other things. And when you realize that that was his plight and his battle, and thinking about how he died, I don't, we're always going to support him. I do think he is a legend, but it's hard to like listen to these songs and like feel good about it. You get me? Right. But again, this was how he intended his album to be. I think that's one thing we've kind of seen, and salute to Bibby and everybody else who was involved in creating the album. That's very clear, but it's one of those. It's like a tough pill to swallow. But it's a good body of work. Just it's tough to swallow given the circumstances.
Yeah, it's like, he's another one that I think he was transitioning the perception of where he came from. Chicago. He's from Chicago. And I, a couple years ago at Made in America, I got a chance to interview him. And when we spoke, after the fact of we speaking, I was telling him how many people rocked with him in New York because, he could rap. And he was just saying, like, yo, man, like, I grew up listening, like, watching Cassidy and Beanie Siegel and all these different people. And he was like, he always wanted to make sure he implemented lyricism into what he did, no matter how much he sang. No matter how much he crooned. And it's hard to listen to this music only because it's like these young people are just losing their lives like so rapidly. It's crazy, and especially it's a magnifying glass on it because they're so talented, And overall, now with that being said, I did check the album out. Tons of great music on it, But again, it's like every time I got to listen to it, it makes it a little bit tougher. When Biggie passed when I was younger, I was a little bit, I wouldn't say desensitized, but I couldn't really take in that like one of my favorite artists was gone. So it wasn't as tough. But now it's like every time an artist passes, it's hard for me to really take in their music.
Yeah.
And I guess even lastly, because we're seeing both of these artists that dropped posthumous albums in the last 2 weeks, Juice WRLD and of course Pop Smoke, they're doing record numbers like 250 for Pop, and Juice is about to do 500. Again, because I know a lot of the content that Juice made, I wish he saw even this extra, because he got love, but like this amount of outpour of love and like just understanding, it is tremendous. And shoot, I wish Pop was even here to see 1/20th of the love that he's getting, because I think that at the time he died, that was still a distant place away. He was on his way, but it was still distance.
The tough thing about that too, though, Act, is like it's always troubling that the artists that are here can't get love until they pass. It's like when Meet the Woo 2 dropped, I posted it, on my page, and like Pop commented, but my comments was full of people just saying about how trash he was and how much every single song sounded exactly the same. And then now that he's gone, you get all these people having this epiphany talking about how dope he is, and oh man, if we just gave him a chance. And it's like, damn, like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's just crazy to see that when artists pass away, that they got to get the real love that they should get. Like, they should have been doing these numbers while they were here.
We don't appreciate nothing we think we'll have forever.
Well,
that's just a sad reality.
He was definitely very confident, very charismatic. So even though people doubted him, I think he was super confident that he was going to be successful regardless, which is really nice. Just a very cool dude altogether. Aki mentioned the numbers. The numbers are actually phenomenal. You want to quickly take us through those?
Oh man, I haven't done this in a while, but yeah, of course. Pop Smoke's posthumous album, which is called "Shoot for the Stars and Aim for the Moon," it did 251,000 units first week. You know, it broke. I think they said it's the biggest posthumous release since I can't remember, like Michael Jackson or something like that. Lil Baby's My Turn, still in the top 5, 62,000 units. I don't even know how Baby keeps selling this much, but I think it's just, you know, he's finally getting payback from fans and supporters for all the good music he's putting out. The Baby, Blame It on Baby, is at number 4. Of course, he had a number 1 song in the country with Rockstar. And just talking about other songs, The Weeknd, still in the top 5. Blinded Lights at number 2. Jack Harlow, man, I'm telling you, I got one hand on the Jack Harlow bandwagon, okay? But
not a leg. It's a hand.
That's a hand. I'm holding on. But we have to see, can he do it again? What's Poppin' is a really dope song. We've seen a lot of great names. He got Lil Wayne on the remix. We've seen some people who are showing him love, which is like, yo, salute to Drama and Cannon and Lake Sheezy over there. They're doing a great job getting it together. I guess what I'm saying is that could he do it again? Because everybody could get a hit. Well, not everybody.
I mean, damn, like, yo, that's good. Look, he went from being the industry plant to selling 15K on his EP to having a number 8 record to having a number 2 record, and he's still growing. And actors like, can he do it again? Damn, let the man live, dog. Like,
wait, no, you gotta do a lot to shed the industry plant thing. Like, yo, you gotta really do your thing.
He got the number 2 record in the country, and you talking about some, man, can he do it again? It's happening right now. Like, just let this one happen, and then we get to the other one later. Come on, be fair, act. Hey, you gotta be fair.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, I'm good. Megan Thee Stallion, Beyonce, Savage is number 4. Yeah, that record's still doing great. You know, Meg clouded up. Pop Smoke debut, his first top 10 debut of his career. For the night debut number 6, and you know my man Lil Mosey, he's still hanging in there in the top 10 at number 8 with Blueberry Faygo. I love that song.
Yeah, I love that song too.
All right, so before we go, a couple of quick hits. We've been getting a lot of Drake leaks recently. I wonder why. I wonder what is that? Have you been enjoying these leaks, Akademiks?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
No, come on, is water wet? Is water wet? Like, come on. Of course, I've been enjoying.
Yo, I don't listen to leaks. I don't
Ever?
listen to the leaks. I stopped listening to leaks. You know what? After the mixtape era, I really stopped listening to leaks. Only because, you know what it is? I really like to hear the shit fully complete.
But what if they're intentional leaks, which some of them are?
That's a good one. That's a good one. But I chill until the projects come out.
Wait, yo, Wayne one of them niggas that like, yo, I gotta go to the store and the day came out, get it in the CD, take the wrapper off, kiss it, put it in my CD player, bump my boombox. No, dog, I'm listening to snippets, leaks, everything. I'm listening to everything. I only ever have a problem if the leak is harder than the actual song. You feel me? You know, sometimes they'll switch up the beat or something like that. That's what I thought, and I feared for Pop Smoke got a song which he remixed Many Men. Got It On Me. I don't know if that was a fan beat. I thought it was maybe just put together with some acapella that leak. I was scared that on the real album, because that song been out for months, they would change it up. But they didn't. They just left it how it is. I have no problem with leaks. And some of these intentional leaks, as you're talking about, Deska, it helps an artist. That's why I thought that, you know, even with Drake, right? Drake never really, like, Drake's a big artist. They're not trying to have leaks over there. But I think they're learning how to strategically use it. You don't want an artist like that to fail. With Dark Lane's demo, that mixtape, we had about half the album before it dropped. Everybody was calling it fire off the snippets. So once the full project's out, they still gonna call it fire. It's a way to like trick public, you know, like consensus. Like one of the songs Drake is putting out this week, it's been out and people been clamoring for like, yo, drop this. It's called Grease. Of course, like when he drops it, of course it's gonna be great.
Testing the waters. All right, so you're excited for one of two. So have you heard the second one? So this is what Khaled has been announcing. And we know Khaled is all about the big, elaborate rollouts. So there are two songs coming with him and Drake. Why are you rolling your eyes?
No.
I guess both of you. Then I only caught one. But
I'm not rolling my eyes. I thought it was just so funny how he had the owl in the booth. You know what I mean? All the shit he was doing with the owl. Like, cause when you seen the owl in it, like, owls are fucking dangerous. You seen when the owl had his claws like by his neck. You know what I mean? I was wondering how the hell they got a tame owl. That's what I was just laughing at.
I didn't know they were dangerous.
Yeah, hell yeah. Owls are fucking predators.
Hey, listen. Fuck all of that shit. These two. My only thing is that, like, I'm a little desensitized to, like, Khaled, like, rollout. Like, we get it. It's two Drake tracks. Like, you're probably going to be screaming at the beginning. No disrespect. But, like, I'm tuning you out till I get to Drake. I'm not even going to lie. And also, by the way, one of the songs that's coming out that Khaled's, it doesn't feel like a Drake and Khaled collab. They put out anthems, quote unquote, right? Like, you know, like, oh, this is gonna be the summer like club joint, even though there's no clubs. This feels, it's a singing joint. It's not like songs you would. It's not like for free. Remember the last collab? Like, this thing's for free. Okay, I can't sing.
I was wondering though, because you know, it's like I was like, damn, Drake gonna go to summer without having a summer anthem. Like I was wondering, well, worried a bit, because it's like he doesn't go to summer even if he ain't putting out an album without a record that's ruling the summer.
True.
Summer canceled, Wayno. Like, you didn't get the memo.
Is
Summer's
it canceled?
It's definitely canceled, but we still gotta hear music. Like,
well,
it's not canceled in certain places.
You're right. I think it's hard to fucking do that. Yo, that's why I think the Migos ain't really too lit right now. Like, you gotta have the clubs open, and you're right. It is kind of open. Like, we're half and half. Like in Atlanta,
it ain't the same.
Yeah, Florida's wilding, but yeah, I think it's hard to like get a summer song. What would be the song of the summer?
That's a good question. Maybe you could give it to Jack Harlow. But think about that. We could talk about it tomorrow. Even for someone as big as Drake, TikTok obviously like can boost a record like 2C Slide. And so now the U.S. Secretary of State is saying that the government is considering banning TikTok because of national security concerns. So they're a Chinese company. Obviously, there are a lot of tensions between the U.S. and the Chinese government at the moment. Apparently, they think that they may be passing data from the app to the Chinese government, not confirmed. But India has already banned the app and about dozens of other Chinese apps. So TikTokers are already starting to panic, it seems. Would this be a big blow to the entertainment industry? Or would we just bounce on to the next thing?
Oh, hell, nah, I mean, will definitely bounce on to the next thing, but it'll definitely be a blow. I mean, like, a lot of artists, I mean, not even artists, a lot of TikTokers are getting record deals just because they can make a song and put a dance to it. And a lot of record executives are judging what music is right now based upon the engagement that a record gets on TikTok. They be like, yo, this shit is blowing up on TikTok. We should holler at them. So it's like, you know, it's definitely going to be a blow, but it's not going to be a blow to nobody more than these little kids. I promise you. These little kids, I don't know what my daughter's going to do for the next 2 months after if TikTok get banned. But I think that's who it affects the most, the children. But yeah, it definitely will hurt the music industry. Well, not hurt the music industry, but a lot of how some of these A&Rs do their business.
It would definitely be good for Twitter and Instagram and other companies because they've been crushing them.
Right. By the way, Facebook, which owns Instagram, just announced that they literally have a TikTok clone. Literally, like it's their new app. Like, the only description for it is this is a TikTok clone. So they're trying to get them out of here. But I will say this is good, and the reason why this is good, I don't try to get all CNBC, CNN on it and everything, but like TikTok really hasn't like. We get it. They've let us down culturally, right? When they could have, you know, been a platform to, you know, spread the message and have some social awareness about some, you know, some issues, especially when, you know, us African Americans are being oppressed. Dropped the ball on that. They was trying to silence it. So socially, right? But now, one thing that matters to all Americans, and we do live in America, you ain't about to sell our data. Sell our body. Like, you ain't about to do that now, okay? Like, Facebook did it back in the day. They had to pay a hefty fine. You get me? Like, again, a lot of the agendas that, like, if a company that is social media has an agenda and it can control, like, 200 million people in the United States, you could influence the stock market, elections, very big. We definitely gotta get TikTok in check, man. They wild.
Yeah, we definitely gave up all our data when everybody was playing with that app to make your face look old. You know, we gave up all our data with that shit, all our face recognition.
I think I'm the only person in the States who never signed up for TikTok, so I guess my data is safe for now. Hopefully, we'll see.
I'm lit on. I'm about to make a TikTok dance after this.
You just said, all right, enjoy
Please
it.
don't.
Enjoy it while
Please
it's
don't.
still here. All right, so real quick before we go, did you guys watch Jada and Will's Red Table Talk?
Yes.
August Alsina really just dropped a bomb on this one. I don't think I needed to really see that, but they handle it pretty well, though. Although it's no one's business, technically. That's my stance. But...
I'm mad at you and Deska for bringing this up at the end of the show.
What? Oh, that was strategic.
All right, go ahead, Winner. You have any thoughts?
Well, not right now because we at the end of the damn show. So
all right, never mind. I take that back. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I don't know if you would have that much to say about it. Passing thought.
No, we stand with you, brother. We stand with you, brother.
You know what? All right, that's it. Ak, it's good to have you back.
For the faithful men out here.
We got the rest of the... Oh, wear your shirts. Black men don't cheat. I haven't seen any of those in a long time.
Wayno is a testament to that. Black men don't cheat. Yeah, me too.
All right, man.
I'm the president, he the vice president.
Looking to you tomorrow, Ak. It's good to have you back. Guys, thank you for watching. We'll see you here tomorrow on Everyday Struggle.
And make sure I like the damn episode, man. Stop with the dislikes, man. Cut it out.